Happy Sunday! If you are new here, I do Sunday messages every Sunday. And if you like what you hear, they are little tiny snippets pulled out from my newest book, Wildly Optimistic, which is completely about trials and gaining new perspective in hard times. So during our third week of at-home church, this is what came to mind. I typed it out real fast. I was thinking about an ether. Sometimes we feel we're crossing great storms buried in the sea in darkness. But the light we do have, even if it may seem as small as a stone, will be what we need to make it through. And it's not just about making it through this lifetime, because it's not ever about just making it to the end and hoping for a better go at it in the next round, the hereafter. Because like an ether, life didn't end for them when they reached land. It wasn't the end to the story or to them. They continued living and enjoyed new seasons with blessings and prosperity. So no, it's not just about making it, trying to get by until we die. It's about holding on to the light we do have, knowing a new season will come in this life, one filled with blessings and prosperity. Maybe the woman at the well, as she sat alone drawing water, was thinking of the weight of her burdens. Maybe she was thinking about how she wished she could change things, or how she wishes things were different. Perhaps she was thinking of how she was only there because she wanted to be alone, or maybe that she deserved to be alone. Now, there's a straight shortcut to Galilee through the Bethsan Gap. It was essentially the only route for Jews to travel for two reasons. One, it's the fastest way. Two, the longer route would mean they would have to travel through Samaria, a city descended from a heathen colonist. In short, they hated Jews. So not only was that route through Samaria longer, but it would also mean that they would have to travel through a city they avoided due to deep hatred. But Christ, he journeyed through that route on purpose. And that's when he meets the woman at the well. The disciples are shocked that he even spoke to her, a Samaritan, and not just a Samaritan, but a sinful, what we think is a sinful woman of a hated and despised apostate race. And not only did he talk to her, he taught her. He stayed with her for 2 days. So yeah, we may feel alone and burdened. But regardless of what and where, Jesus will and does travel the long way to get to us on purpose. Even and especially when everyone else may fail us, he meets us where we are and comforts and lifts us. He comes to us because he doesn't lose sight of us, because he knows our hiding places, because, quote, they are not lost to God. He knows where they are. Regardless of what we have done or haven't done, regardless if we are tirelessly trying to do what's right, or if we're on a long road of shortcomings and sins, he comes to us and he stays with us. And what we think is a painful moment alone with a weight we wouldn't know how to explain to anyone else, it could turn into an intimate, one-on-one moment with the Savior if, like the woman at the well, we are willing to listen. And if we are willing to be taught. Things may seem dark right now. Things may seem never ending right now. And giving up could seem like the only option left, but it's not. Comfort is always there because Christ is always there. And with him, we can overcome and conquer absolutely everything. Every feeling of loneliness or pain or temptation, with him, we can overcome and conquer the world. Like the woman at the well, our one by one God travels the long way on purpose and comes to us. Like the woman with the blood disease on the street grabbing for his clothes in the shoulder-to-shoulder crowd, our one by one Savior stops and notices us. He stops for us. He heals us. And although they are unnamed in the scriptures, he knows them. Exactly and perfectly does he know what we're going through, and he does know what we're feeling without explanation. He knows all of us because he created all of us. Why? Because our unchanging God doesn't mean his commandments are unchanging. Not just that, but also his love. Unchanging. And how much does he love us? Even as much as he hath graven thee upon the palms of his hands. When we feel like he has turned us back on us, we only need to turn around. Because although we may feel alone or forgotten, he knows us exactly and perfectly. Does he know what we're going through and what we're feeling? He knows all of you because he created you with his hands. And we too can, by knowing and saying what Christ has said. And yet, I am not alone because the Father is with me. When I feel the weight of my situations getting really heavy, and I feel like I can no longer handle the weight, I desperately need the helping hand of a Savior, a hand that is never shortened, a hand that is always extended, a loving and understanding, and always there hand, a capable and indestructible hand, an all-powerful, perfect hand. And when I feel momentarily buried and burned out from my efforts or situation, I'm learning to better grab for that hand. And the cool thing is, every time we make any efforts to reach for, a literal Savior comes to our aid and saves us. He bears our burdens, lightens our loads, strengthens, comforts, renews, revives, carries. So yeah, sometimes we feel like we're struggling or gasping and sinking. Sometimes we feel dizzy from the too quick change of course. Sometimes we feel our strength has run so thin that another day doesn't seem like another chance, but another burden to bear. But like Peter on the water, he will not let us drown. He will pull us up and save us every day, 1,000,000 times a day if we need, if we but reach. That is reality.